We're at the house and I have quite a few updates. Of course, I'm going to show you what's been taking place outside. We have a field trip because, as you know, we discussed the name of the house. I want to let you know about a property update because I have been dropping hints, not even dropping hints, just telling you for a while that I have been trying to secure a fourth property. I have some news there. And also to let you know that we have some more house guests coming. And of course, what we're going to be recording next. I'm excited. I hope you are too. I'm Kelly Johnley and this is Bajan Renovation. Well, as I said, we have a lot to get through. And for some reason, I decided to write no notes. So let's see how this goes. Let's start with the exterior of the house. So before we show you what has taken place, because as you may recall from last week's show, we are getting the yard together. The yard was a disaster. But before it was a disaster, here are some shots of what the exterior of the house originally looked like. Yes, quite a transformation. Now, I know you all have always ask about contractors, so I'm going to say this. I did what I say you shouldn't do. I literally made a good selection, but it was purely based on vibes. So remember that time I kept telling you all about when I went to Koiman and I bought that one item? As I was walking out of Koiman, Andre, I don't know his name, came and said, "Hey, are you Kelly?" I said yes, and he gave me his card. He's the contractor on the job. I just liked his energy, and at the point, yes, I knew I had to do the yard, but I was not really in a financial position, but I kept the card, which was rare because quite often cards go missing. Anyways, I reached out to him via WhatsApp and said, "Hi." Reintroduced myself, sent some photos of the yard and said, "Would you be willing to quote on this project? I need to start." I appreciated that he responded promptly. He said he'd need to physically see it. He came when he said he was going to come. No nonsense, no big set of long talk. He came, he looked around, he sent the quote. Now, the initial quote was for the front and the back of the house, and that was in the vicinity of $18,000. Now, I did not do a lot of shopping around for comparable work. I had other quotes from before, as I'd mentioned, but it was to get more things done. Now that I'm fiscally responsible, I came to the conclusion that I had $8,000 that I could spend. And we determined, based on what was necessary, that we'd clear the yard, which they have done, and we would also pave the front. So that is where we are presently. So what you're seeing right now is not finished. They have to come back and grout the front steps. That isn't done. They were just setting this past week. They're also going to tidy up I guess what would have been the former gate posts where you could see the mailbox is. Those will be painted in the same paint that we got from Berger. We had some left over from the house, so we are going to be using that. So they're going to square it off, they're going to plaster it and square it off. Also, I have a landscaper that's coming that is going to just pay attention to what I could only call not even my rock garden, the little rock bed at the front. So those are the finishing touches, but I am really happy with the quality of work and the way it was executed. So granted, I can't say that I've been working with them forever, but for this project, 10 out of 10, and I'm looking forward to the finishing details coming up. Speaking of finishing details, we're going to hijack somebody's field trip and you guys get to come. So remember I told you guys that I was going to huff somebody's field trip. So this is Muffin. Muffin, say hi to everybody. Hello. So we're actually here filming for Barbados Sotheby's for their series, Our Bajan Bucket List. But as I knew we were coming, and we are resourceful, right? And we can kill two birds with one stone. We also came to look at these, the nameplates, because the house now has a name. So I went with this design. So one thing that I was told, which was interesting and probably makes a lot of sense, is that, oh, these are not our official colors, this is just the general pattern that we're going with, is that the kiln will alter the color of the paint or the intensity of the paint. So we had some little discussion about what colors we were going to use, and I want my background to be the peach of the door. So we're going to have white writing, we're going to have the green trim that ties into the green of the door, and our name. Now, should I tell you what the name is, what we settled on, what it is most likely to be? Here's a look at your suggestions. Now, I did anticipate that we would have had a few nice things. I did anticipate our house, and believe it or not, before I saw the one that we're going with, I was leaning towards our house. I also quite liked Chateau Barbade. I thought that was very creative. So that was my short list mentally. For some reason, I thought Giselle was cute. Don't ask me, I don't know how y'all came up with Giselle, but I liked Giselle. But the one that stood out to me was Dream. And I think it's because it's a call to action. It just resonated when I saw it. So the name of the house is Dream. Muffin is trying to persuade me to name it Daydream, Daydreamer, Dreaming, The Dream. We'll see if she gets in with this, but Dream is what's on the paper. And this is the style of the door frame. So my mom made a suggestion for how we can finish the entryway. Yes, the mother whose curtains that 75, maybe 80% of you didn't want us to use her curtains. Yeah, she sent to say good evening to you all. Anyways, we are Christians and we're moving on from that and we're getting other curtains. She suggested, and Shaka will show you a photo, of framing the door with tiles. So she was thinking more along the lines of little tiles like these to make a nice door frame. And the truth is, when I saw the pictures online, because you know we all live in Pinterest, I thought it was a fabulous touch. I don't think it is something that we're going to do with this iteration of home improvement, simply because we are fiscally responsible and we got a little news from the bank and we're not spending money on things we have not budgeted. Good evening to Republic Bank. You see how I'm getting better? But I just wanted to share the image and the idea because I think it is something that can really set off an entryway, and if you do it, let us know. Now to some big news, and I'm going to try my hardest not to get emotional when I tell you guys about it. I have been sharing along the way that I am actively in the property market, and I received a note from the bank yesterday that said, yesterday would have been, we're filming this on Friday, so yesterday is Thursday, that said that my application was approved. Lucy back. The bank. Shit, Jack, my God, stop. I apologize. That actually was the bank calling. Apparently, I've worked them very hard. Good evening to you. But as I was sharing with you, when I told my mom, she asked me if I was happy. Happy is not the right word. Yes, I am happy. But this property journey has been such a long one. I feel like I have been working towards this fourth property from the time that I was working towards the first one. I remember I shared last week about the fire movement, and my little property portfolio is a part of a bigger picture. I am not out here buying things for buying things' sake, and it's not easy. It has been very tedious, particularly trying to secure this one, what would have been at the end of the renovation. By the time we ended the renovation, I was exhausted. I was exhausted spiritually, emotionally, and financially. But that said, it is difficult to articulate how it feels. Now, what's happening now is that the bank is preparing the commitment letters. We need to go through the terms, and a deposit needs to be made. It is a significant deposit. Now, the reason why I say it's significant, I'm not going to tell you how much, but it is significant, is that the reason why I put a pause on doing work on the apartment is that I knew that there was a possibility that I would have been able to secure this apartment. However, I financed the apartment. I have money either for the apartment or I have money for the deposit. Needless to say, at an appropriate time, when I tell you about the property itself, you will understand why I needed the money for the deposit. It's a multi-unit property, so needless to say, the deposit, this ain't no 5%, this ain't no $20,000 that the bank is looking for. This is a significant amount of money. This is talk to the accountant, realign your chakras, get your shit together amount of money for me. But that said, we were successful, and I look forward at the right time, once I've gone into the bank and we are all comfortable with the terms, etc., sharing with you this new leg of the property journey, because for me, I definitely will be learning along the way. It's a very big step for me, not just in terms of finances, but just in terms of the scope of the property and what will be required to get it ready. Guess you could say cheers to a new adventure. Cheers and a lot of prayers. I should coin that. Cheers and a lot of prayers. So in terms of what's next, so there is an episode of Bajan Renovation coming up that is going to speak to home equity loans and home refinancing. I really would like, with the assistance of the bank, to explain how those tools can work for you. Now, I've taken advantage of both of them. Now, quite often when people say that your home is your biggest investment, I will die on the hill, right? Where I defend the fact or explain that for most people, it's not the biggest investment, it's simply the biggest financial commitment. But if you are able to use the equity in your property in such a way that you are either able to extract revenue to invest in other areas or expand your financial portfolio, I think you should know how it works, because that is usually when your property can become an investment. You are actually able to get a return from it, be a financial return from it beyond the benefit of living in your home. So I have, and it was in part of the process of acquiring the property that I am in now, had a property refinancing. I think that a lot of you, particularly those of you who have been in your homes for more than 10 years, you should know about how these things work and how they could benefit you. I recently, as a part of the current property acquisition and another transaction that was running parallel to that, was able to get a home equity loan based on the equity in the properties in Coverley. That process actually started before the mortgage application for the fourth property came up. I don't want to get into too many details now because I don't want you to think it's hard or confusing. I just want you to know the episode is coming up, and I really want you all to pay attention to it, because there are a lot of financial tools out there that I think the average person may not know how to access, or how it can really benefit them, or how they could even use them, because you don't need to use it, but at least know what it is. And that is one. So that is one thing I want you guys to look out for. Now, I don't know how much time you guys spend online in home stores looking at nice things, but you may have seen me pop up in spaces other than Bajan Renovation. And there's a partnership that I'm excited to be a part of that I wanted to tell you about. It's a partnership with Massey Stores, specifically for the Waitrose brand. Now, why am I telling you about this one as opposed to anything else that you may or may not have seen? Well, because a lot of the content is going to be recorded here in the house, which means that you are going to see the products. You're going to see me using them. And as we all live in this house together, you know how it is. If you're bringing people to the house, you should at least let people know that they're coming. I just want you to know that the actual end products of the recording, they're going to sit on the Massey Stores platforms. But I'm excited to be a part of it, because while I could not have orchestrated the timing of this upcoming campaign, I actually worked with them years ago when I was at the Nation, when we used to film a show, when I used to produce a show, that's the correct wording, called How to Cut Like a Bajan. And I got introduced to the Waitrose line there, and I've been using it ever since. Now, Obviously, a few years have passed, but I thought it was great based on some of the things that I wanted to do for you guys in terms of how we were going to diversify the content moving forward, particularly into the holiday and the latter part of the summer season. Like, of course, you know, I want to do my entertaining content and my charcuterie boards and all of these things. So this alignment was perfect. But I just wanted to say that just because I guess you could say we talk all the time, that you will be seeing some new products in the house. You may not see the end product of any recording here on the Bajan Renovation page, but just know it is something I am genuinely behind, and the only reason that they could come and film in my house is because I think it is something that I am willing to get behind. You're also going to see some other partners in the coming weeks, but I think that in terms of what people would call lifestyle content, the Weight Rose one is the one that I just wanted to declare up front. It is a partnership that I'm excited about, and I think that you will benefit from the content we are creating. In the last couple of weeks, we've also had a number of house guests. You will be seeing some content for a wine unboxing that I did, because you know your girl is drinking all through this renovation, right? I very much like wines. I have worked behind the scenes with Wine World for a number of years, and this product, this boxed service is not theirs, but the wines actually were from them, because I told them I like Wine World wines and I picked something from them. So you're going to be seeing some nice things coming out of our house. In addition, we actually welcomed the team from Berger here very recently. No, Berger is not closed down. Berger has actually, the product is being distributed by Blades and Williams. So they are transitioning to a new showroom, a spanking fabulous showroom, which I had a peep at. So some team members had come here because I asked them to take a look at the yard, and they actually had some people here that came to train their team just on some new products that they would be having. So the house has been working very hard. Okay, so the house is doing what I had envisioned that it would be able to do. I am glad that the home that we've created together supports not just my life, but my lifestyle and my work. I think at some points I really felt like I was feeling my way as I went along, but it does feel very satisfying and very validating in some ways, that we're able to deliver the value, whether it is through me doing content work or through Pivot Productions doing work, and use the house the way I thought we would be able to use it. To know now that the bank is willing to support me on the next project, it is going to take me a while to process this, but when I do, and once we have everything tidied up on the back end, and I'm pretty certain that they will bring me to a Christian understanding when we do meet next week. I'm looking forward to this next chapter. I have learned so much from each project, and not just from the projects, from the different people that I would have worked with, even advice sometimes that would not necessarily be applicable to what I am doing, and to be able to take this step now in an informed position. I don't feel nervous. I feel a little tired I already feel tired about the amount of work that needs to be done, and not just from a renovation process, but just all that needs to be done to support this step. But I am grateful, and I'm going to go back in my find that old notebook where when my daughter was 1 year old, and I was writing down what I wanted for my financial future and for her, and to be in a season where you can see these things come to fruition. I don't take it for granted. Someone asked me, how come I take the time to share this information? My philosophy, I don't know if the word is philosophy, but how I feel about talking about money is the way I feel about health. There's a certain level of sharing that benefits everybody, and when you guys let me know something that it was helpful, or you get through with the bank, or you didn't know something and you can now go and use the information and get through, that's what I like to hear, because we could win together. So I'm going to drink this wine, and then later I'm going to drink some champagne, because there was a lot to celebrate this week. So until next time, I'm Kelly Johnley, and this is Bajan Renovation.